Indeed, the free agents are back, still free,
Oh God.
still rolling. A lot has happened in the world of free agency, which we will talk about here shortly. I have an opening towel though, which I'll share afterwards. But first, Jaychele, how are you on this wonderful Friday afternoon? Right for you, afternoon, evening, something like that.
Afternoon. Yeah, it's 5. I'm having a great week. I'm gonna take some victory laps here.
Yep.
I'm very excited. I have a very cool announcement coming as well, which I'll probably do at the end unless I get impatient.
Okay, well, I'll let you decide when you do it. Please remind me because if I have to, am I the one that decides when we do it? I will forget. So just remind me, stop me at any point, and say I would like to do the announcement now. Okay,
Okay.
just remind me.
Yeah.
So there's a bit here between Jaychele and I that I think is lost on you folks, which is that for whatever reason, Jaychele likes to be professional and get to these shows 15 minutes early. I get here about 90 seconds before showtime, right? And I say, I bury someone and I say, anyway, let's get on with the show. So today I thought it'd be really funny if I got here 20 minutes early. And then maybe if you got here like 14, 13 minutes, I could be like, got ya, beat you to the punch. Which just so happens that today Jaychele got here 4 minutes early, so I just sat on my own for 15 minutes, just wondering if I'd been ribbed. So congratulations, you got me there, which is very fitting, right?
I have 2 things to say to that. One, I'm very proud of you for experiencing what I experienced because you always make me wait, so it seems like it was a good thing. Right. And 2, I was just on the phone with my boyfriend. I was like, I don't really want to hang up, so I'm just gonna make Joe wait. He's fine. Yeah. We're cool.
That's fair. It says a lot about me that until you said that, I hadn't even thought of the fact that you just do that every time and just sit and stare at the screen. So that maybe that was a moment for me to kind of reflect. Okay, fair.
I go on TikTok. Did you go on TikTok?
I don't have the TikTok. No.
Oh, Joe.
I know. I'll do it when Bob's on it. I'll download it.
Okay, we should do it as like a team. It should be a team building activity.
Yes, but I do think you're going to have to lead that particular task.
I can do that. That's fine.
Yeah. I think that's why that's one topic that definitely you're going to have to lead us on, which is fine, right? We have our specialities around here.
It'll be great content.
I believe it. But Bob's versatile, right? I don't doubt what you can do with Bob on any kind of platform at this point. Okay, much to talk about here. For those of you who don't know, it says it in the title. Our topic today is Athena, who last week had a 30-minute draw with Thunder Rosa. We have much to talk about with her, but I think it makes sense with this show to have the first kind of like 5 to 10, whatever, how long it takes, talk about last week's free agent if something happens, right?
Yeah.
Now, I have been told, sources say that you plan some form of victory lap here.
Yes.
I am here to tell you that I may have a lap to take after yours. So you go ahead.
Yeah, we could do that. I'm here to take my New Japan Strong victory lap. I predicted New Japan Strong. I'm also here to convince you guys that I also predicted GCW. I didn't say GCW, right? Yes. But I mentioned a lot of GCW names.
You kind of did, yeah, that's fair.
So, and I'm always the GCW girl. I'm the GCW proponent. So I feel like I shouldn't have to always mention it.
Yes.
Just give me the GCW victory lap and watch Swerve when he goes to GCW because I'm going to have the time of my life.
Your thoughts on this comment here from Tope Suicida, who says Jaychele's narrative is uncontrollable.
Did you have to read it out loud?
It's interesting for it's not referencing anything in particular, right?
I'm gonna cry.
Can I just say, and this is a moment of pure sincerity on my part, Tony Khan, thank you so much for signing Buddy Murphy before he could go to that promotion, because that would have been a very, very bad thing for our brand. And I have no doubt that he'd have shown up somewhere on there, so God bless. Thank you, TK. Do you have any comment on the narratives and such?
I'm just glad that I hope they take all of Moose's bookings. I hope Moose takes no other bookings. Make Moose your champion. No. Okay. EC3, Titan, Lord be with us. Please take Moose as your champion. Fair. Once he loses to Josh Alexander or Chris Bay, take him. Take him. I will pay you money to take him.
Well, don't get carried away. But all right, yeah, that's fair. I don't want to upstage your victory lap, but I do feel I have to, just to make sure that you stay humble here on the Late Night Grin.
An honorary.
Here's the deal. You may have forgotten this, but my froze. My back.
Yeah, there you are.
Just as I'm going to do a victory lap, freeze on me. So you said, he could do a match with Jay White, and I said, You may have forgotten this. I said that Jay White match may be pretty close.
Yes.
And that's all I said because I have respect for this business and I like to protect everyone's, business around here. But I kind of knew, I got the sense that he was going to be the match. And that was, spoiler alert, that was taped last night, right? So
Yes.
New Japan Strong's got a hell of a main event ahead of it, hasn't it? I mean, that's going to be a big one.
I asked people today how to watch that show because I've never seen a full episode that was not on YouTube. So I asked people, I'm going to watch it.
How weird is it that you can't just buy the show and watch it live?
Dude, I don't understand it. Just like,
I know.
Dude, I don't know. I wish they would do like the Fight TV thing that like ROH does. Like, you can give it to me for free.
Right.
I know you're not making that much money off of it to the point where you're like pinching pennies over it.
It's going to probably air in like 4 weeks too.
Yeah. Yep. He's not even going to be the hot free agent anymore. He's going to Swerve's back.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's something that I'm frustrated with. But Strong is a very good show. You will enjoy it when you watch it. Now, we have a super grin here from Franco. He says, Khan versus Brooke prediction, Joe. Now, I'm assuming you're very excited about this boxing match tomorrow, Jaychele. Amir Khan, Kell Brook.
Are those men or women?
They are men, indeed. Here's where I'm at, Frank. It's a great question. I appreciate it. I like when the super grins not only support the show, but also feed my ego. Here's where I'm at. I'm picking Brook. Mid to late rounds, I think he's going to catch him, put him out. However, if you're looking to make some money, early rounds, Khan stoppage, there is a chance that the speed will catch a older, somewhat vulnerable Kell Brook off guard. Looking forward to the fight very much. We appreciate the support. Streamlabs.com/late night grin. Jaychele, final prediction, Kell Brook versus Amir Khan?
I'm going to go with Brook because I liked Brook Havoc.
There you go. Good answer. All right. Staying on Swerve for a moment.
Okay.
He did a spot. He showed up at Defy too, right? Yeah. He showed up and went head to head with Darby, which is something we talked about that match, and it feels like
he also started the feud for something else, which is against Nick Wayne, which I don't believe I predicted, but once again, another one of my GCW guys.
It's interesting. I believe on the Observer this week too, Dave had him listed as a likely AEW guy, right?
Yep.
So
yeah,
I think that's one that people may be able to look back on and kind of see if we were right or wrong, because I think we're going to get some answers soon on Swerve on the TBS. So we'll see here shortly.
Yeah.
Now, looking ahead, as I said, Athena is the topic.
Yes.
Firstly, I'm really intrigued by this. What is your the backstory to your fandom of her? Is it something that's not that deep rooted? Did you just see her stuff in WWE? Because I was interested.
WWE girl. Yeah.
Okay,
so
NXT,
like the Asuka feud is kind of like when I started to notice her. I'm not that deep in knowing her background, but I did a little bit of research.
We both became fans at a similar time then. I, around 2016, delved back and watched some of the older stuff, which I still need to watch more of. I recommend it strongly because she's been great for a long, long time. But I was intrigued by that. It's going to be interesting for both of us because this is our first time experiencing her outside of that system in real time, right? Yeah. And, the match one was pretty promising. So it'll be intriguing to see how that goes. I quickly want to answer this question. Big news coming soon. Jaychele, now we may even reveal it on this show because there may be a guest at some point on this show, Jaychele.
Oh my God, are you going to make my dreams come true again?
There's many moving pieces. From what I've heard, that there's been discussions, That's what I've heard. Okay,
so Cody to WWE?
Yes, exactly that. Yes, that's what yeah. Cody will be here shortly. We're going to sign Cody to the Late Night Green.
Are we going to get Brandy too? I'd like to have a discussion with Brandy. I think me and Brandy should get our own show.
All right, so let's just play that out. I'm not going to do a voice or anything, but can we role play that quickly? What do you want to have the conversation? I'll be Brandy. You, go ahead. I'll just fill in the gaps. Go. I want to know what this conversation would look like. Go ahead.
So, Brandy, how was a shot of Brandy this week? Who was your guest?
So we're assuming the show's still on. Is that what we're doing?
She still has the rights. Apparently, that was in the Observer, I believe. So,
okay, who would be the funniest person she could have on it?
Vince McMahon.
Shane McMahon.
God.
So that would be your big conversation. You just promote her show for her.
Yep.
Okay, I'm fine.
Yep. And then we could talk about how we're both black. Keywords.
And she just nods. Yep. And you go, okay. Thank you for coming on the late night grin. All right, tremendous. There you go.
Oh God.
Anyway, back to Athena and the free agents.
Thank you for engaging in that chat. That was good.
Yeah,
Time.
so I loved it. The best ever, one of those deals on here where we did the role play was when Bob said, he goes, if you have friends that like wrestling, tell them about the late night grin. And I go, what would that sound like, Bob? Out of interest, what would that? And he goes, hey man, you like wrestling? And I just go, nope. And poor Bobby's face fucking crumbled, bless his heart.
Oh God.
He's incredible. Anyway, back to Athena. Do we both have AEW at the top of our leaderboard again for where we'd like her to go?
Yes, I do.
Okay, would you like to lead here in terms of maybe some scenarios? It's in the women's division. It's harder, right, with AEW because they have like 100 dudes and maybe 20 to 30 women. So
yeah.
Anyway, this gets me underway. Your first scenario for Athena in AEW.
Yeah, I had two things for this, but I think it is a lot harder because the women also don't have super complex storylines.
Yes.
And I'm working with what we have here. I'm not going to try to create like fully blown new storylines, picking people out of storylines they're currently in. I'm working with where we're at right now.
Right.
So the first one, I think you probably might actually have this one,
Mm.
is the Serena Rookie Challenge.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's get that one out of the way then. The first thing that I had in mind was you do this for a couple weeks, maybe like right up until after Revolution. Then you have Athena come out. You can have her in a mask, or you could just have her have an actual entrance. Right. Either one doesn't really matter. And then she should just pin Serena right at the 5-minute mark. It goes 1, 2, 3 at 5.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So as you said, there's a few different ways you can do this. So the one, I think Shoot said it on the show. I think there was a review show where Shoot mentioned it to us about the idea of her under a mask, right? And then, she reveals it. I think another way, which is on board with what you just kind of pitched there, is maybe an idea if she kills, the rookie, she beats them week after week, and then eventually maybe you do a deal where Serena takes out the rookie and kind of does the thing of, I'm tired of this, no competition, such and such. I'll face anyone back there. Forget rookies, veterans, whatever in between. And then you do the big entrance for a thing. You could do that. There is something to be said for having fun with the idea of the term rookie, considering that Athena spent about 90% of her run in NXT. Yeah. Which is like, I could see them having fun with that. I think it's a feasible way to do it. I don't know if it's my favorite. What about you? Do you think this is the best way to bring Athena in? I'm not sure.
I don't really think so. I think I want to... We kind of saw this happen with Ruby at All Out, where she was one of the females to debut at a pay-per-view. And I think we need to continue that thread. If we're going to continue to do this with men, I think we should be doing this with women as well. I think perfect opportunities, you have her debut at Revolution. I think we're going to have that Britt Rosa match likely. I don't know in what form, but I think you bring either... I had Mercedes Martinez because I feel like she's the most likely option to who can get pinned, but she needs to pick up a couple wins in the meantime. Yeah. I would have her go face-to-face with Mercedes after the match or whatever. Like, you can have Mercedes try to go face-to-face with Rosa, and then Athena comes in and she wants to go face-to-face with Mercedes because Rosa shouldn't be beating Athena. We don't need to have that. Athena needs to win the first match back. Britt is going to probably feud with Rosa for a little bit longer, maybe after, or if not, she'll go right to Hayter, and Hayter is not a big enough star for that yet. So that was my thought process when trying to come up with something that would have her around the title picture, but not exactly in it.
Yes. So I have stuff that's very similar. What's interesting about the Rosa thing is, before Wednesday, it kind of felt likely to me that she was going to back up Thunder Rosa against Britt's army of women that she had. The Mercedes angle on Wednesday seems to make that it can still happen, but it's different now, right? Because it feels like they're going to do Rosa and Mercedes versus Britt and Jamie. They still have Rebel, obviously, so you can still do it. It doesn't feel quite as natural. I agree with you that bringing her in that level is smart because, as you said, she doesn't have to wrestle for the belt, but she's kind of in that picture of the... Yes. Yeah. I do want to quickly give some love to this because I hadn't thought with this, but this is a good idea. It may be lazy, but the Owen, and for someone like Athena, who's such a great in-ring performer, there would be something to be said for just like, look, big debuts are great, but just saying there's a mystery entrant in the Owen and hitting her music and she comes out and wins, right?
I think you could even do that with Nixon. I feel like, I mean, no disrespect in saying this. I feel like Athena and Nixon and star power are a little bit different levels. So I would rather put a Nixon in that kind of place where she can, not that she doesn't deserve a huge debut. If she gets one, that's good. But if they want to do something in the Owen, I think she would be the right pick there.
I also would say, and this is now becoming a very different show, but I also think Nixon would be a kind of a better fit for the rookie thing in some ways, right? I could see her pulling that off way better, her pulling off the mask and it be, I don't know. I think I have to admit,
Athena's style is too, I wouldn't say iconic, but like distinguishable.
It stands out. Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely it does. Yeah, you could, if you silhouetted like her work, you would know it was her. Her stuff's just different. It would be. I agree with you completely, and that was kind of. I don't want to say it alarmed me. I'll be honest, guys. I watch all of these shows, so wherever she goes, I'll watch. I paid money for Warrior Wrestling, for goodness sakes. I'm a fan, but as someone that wants her in AEW, looking at the scenarios, I did kind of find myself being a little bit like, I don't know necessarily if we can see the opening right now. Now, I will say, again, you can still do the trios matches with Rebel, stepping in to wrestle, which is never the best thing, but you get what you get, I suppose. The TBS part is interesting, right? They're establishing this idea that Jade's going to do open challenges, and I'm really intrigued by like what kind of caliber of free agent are we going to get in these open challenges?
Yeah.
What do you think? Where are you at on that as a kind of wider topic, and then directly on in terms of Athena's, stance in that whole thing? Go ahead.
I think this is a larger conversation about women as free agents. I feel like, first of all, they get viewed so much differently than men, and secondly, we don't necessarily believe them all to have the same star power, especially when on the indies, as they would if they were men. So I think in this stuff, we need to see a Willow. We need to see a Trish Adora. Like, we need to see strong Miranda Alizé, even. Strong caliber wrestlers who can, like, bring it and are from the indies as well. So we're not only going, like, straight from Mission Pro. I want something that's more encompassing of the actual indie scene.
Because with Jade as champion, it is, and I think we all agree that
y'all are saying some good names in the chat. Thank you.
They are, absolutely. Addison K, Ellie Catch, good night. Now, I will say, Jade her improvement, especially in the last couple months here, has been pretty apparent, right? As champ, she's really done a good job.
Yes.
However, she's a different kind of champ to what we have seen on the TNT side of open challenges. So the reason I think you and I both are a little bit hesitant on like an Athena going that route is she's probably not going to win. And it's like, how long is the match really going to be, right? Like, it's very difficult. I don't know. I kind of, I'll throw some names out here, Jaychele, and you tell me if you think they'd be a good fit.
Oh, I have some names too. Let's do it.
Okay, so now what names are you talking about here? For Athena or for Jade's open challenge?
Athena.
Okay, well, we'll circle back to that, but I'm intrigued by this.
Oh, okay.
Do we agree Toni Storm is too big of a deal to come in?
Yes.
I do too. And the same with Athena, right?
Yes.
What about Mia Yim? Is she in the middle ground? Could she do it? I could see it.
But I wouldn't want her
to. I kind of think that may be the Revolution. I think Jade may have an open challenge at Revolution. It's Mia Yim. I kind of think that could be a thing.
Ooh, that would be dope, though. I would pop for it. I would, in the moment, not analyzing it, I would be excited.
Yes.
Analyzing it, I would be like, did she have to take that loss right now?
So you'd rather those kind of the top tier of free agents in women's wrestling come in with an angle rather than just come in and lose and yes, I get that.
Especially because they have so many other women on the roster that they can put in that challenge position, TBS challenge position. I think you need to have the women who are maybe more established or are more so of veterans come in and actually get their due.
Absolutely. Now, I have some super grins here, and then we'll circle back to some of the names you had. Riley says, with Kyrie back in Stardom, by the way, that's big news, which is interesting with this whole topic, right? He says, I would love Athena and Kyrie to wrestle outside of the Fed. Also, Athena and Statlander or Athena versus Ty would rule. Athena versus Deonna will be a nice match for Ring of Honor's return show.
I was getting there.
Yep, me too. Damn it, ahead of our notes, man. That's good shit. And Luke sending some sent in a nice donation too. Luke, if you intended to leave a message and did not, please put it in the chat. I'll get to it. But if it was simply a donation, we appreciate the love. Streamlabs.com/late night green. Now,
Send
the
us your
names you have,
monies.
there you go. The names you had, were they like people you want to see Athena wrestle in AEW?
Yeah, and I had some thoughts on them, I guess. So yeah.
Go ahead. Let's go for them.
Okay. I think that there's a big money match with her and Jade.
Yeah.
Which is another reason that I would kind of save that open challenge idea.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like obviously they have that height difference thing, but I think their styles are so opposite that if you put them together, it'd be that perfect styles clash that kind of always just works. I would kind of compare it almost to like something similar to a Bianca Sasha match in the like athleticism and power versus speed, quickness, agility, all that stuff. Not that the match would be like that, just that I could see the styles.
That's the example.
Like that. Yes. I think that'd be a very interesting match to see, and I think we would eventually get there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if we get to Kiera Hogan eventually, I think that's another money match as well. I love Kiera Hogan. I will always put her over. But I think that she does have the star quality that would be good to go up against for Athena.
I do too. I think it's been really kind of frustrating how she's been used in AEW so far, right? She hardly has been used in AEW.
Yep.
She had the Dynamite match with Penelope, which seems to have like, if they had plans, they seemingly pulled back at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kiera's got a lot to offer, either as a babyface or heel. I think hopefully they'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
I definitely think she has stuff to offer in AEW. It's just, it also feels like she's on like a kind of, her contract's a different deal, right? It's like
she's cleared. Yeah.
Yeah, she's on NWA regularly, and
Yeah.
Tony's not a big NWA fan, as we know. Anyway, let's go for a couple more names.
I had an actual pitch for an angle that she could do.
Okay, go ahead.
I think there's a leadership stable position for her because I want an all-female stable outside of what Britt is doing. And I think you add AQA and Red Velvet under Athena's tutelage and let them be a power stable.
Now, would this be a kind of babyface dynamic, or would they be heels?
They'd be babyface. Eventually going heels, though. Like, once they're like, we can do it. We're good wrestlers.
so the idea would basically be, she's like the veteran is Athena, right? And and you have like kind of a generational thing there where it feels like AQA's, kind of the really young one, and then Velvet's in between in terms of experience.
Yep.
That's interesting. I like that. The women's faction thing, like, is that one of the big things that feels like it has to happen, considering how many men's factions we've had in the last 2 years?
Yes. Like, Jesus Christ. We have like partnerships, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I feel very validated in my opinion. But I'm guessing there's a couple other cool people you could add into that. If you really wanted to make something more dynamic, like an evolution-like stable, put Jade in that.
Wow. That would be wild. That'd be interesting. So that would
I would pop for it because it's all black women as well. Had to say it. But
I'm trying to figure out who is who in this like evolution comp that you just made, and
I made it as a passive tongue. I didn't.
Good, because I immediately was like, oh no, that means Athena's Ric Flair. Let's not do that.
No.
I'm with you.
Oh God.
So I think I had some names for matches, and I was just like, look, it's a long way away because I think Jade's going to be champ for a while, and rightly so. She's doing good business and improving well. But it really feels like eventually Athena can be a great TBS champ, doesn't it? Like
when we
Riley
get to
mentioned,
that TV champ model.
Yes, absolutely. Riley mentioned the Statlander match that you'll eventually get, which is spectacular. You mentioned Ty, a couple of ones I've got here. Layla Hirsch. That program.
I heard that too.
There you go. I mean, and the thing is, I think both of us, beyond just writing the match down, we can't quite see the angle right now because she's doing the thing with Stat, right? And it's like, unless Layla had backup, then we'd just immediately do the classic AEW boom tag program. That isn't there right now. So that one's.
I think Athena does get backup though. Even if it's not in my stable idea. Yeah. Oh, somebody said Jazz in the chat. I love that. Even if it's not that, I would go Ruby Soho. I don't know how you get there.
I could see that. So Ruby recently lost to Nyla, and I don't think they've followed up on that on TV. Have they? Have they done like any promos for that? It just seems like it was just like a one-off almost. It was a rematch, but after that they're done. Because I was thinking if there may be a world in which you do something with that, but yeah, I think her and Ruby could be that you could bring her in alongside Ruby maybe. A couple other matches here. I mentioned Nyla, her and Athena. I think would be great.
Yep.
The Riho match is a big one for me. I think that would be awesome. You said AQA. Shida goes without saying.
Yes.
The big takeaway as I looked at this roster was I don't necessarily see the obvious opening right now. But in terms of pure matches, there's an awful lot for Athena doing AEW, isn't there? Is that the conclusion here?
Oh, for sure. And I think even with her veteran experience, if they want to give her a little bit of a producer role, kind of like Serena as well, I think that she would be deserving and she would rock it as well.
Well, what's interesting about that is she seemingly, when she was injured, she basically put herself forward to be on the creative team in WWE. She was very critical of the product, and she said, I'm not just saying this about solutions or alternatives. I would love to sit in and try and help out. So she may want to do some of that stuff. I believe she said she's 17 years in at this point, which is a wild career, Exactly. Yeah, that's by the way, hang on a second. This show's too positive and too nice. I need to bring some hate and negativity to this program. Right?
Oh God.
Now,
at least I was very with it.
Now, this was I thought spiteful, and you think I've forgotten, but I've not forgotten. I was talking about my great journey in this business, my illustrious career. And I was like, I did features for 3 years, and then I ended up doing Bob O'Neill jokes on a podcast, and that's how people found who I was. And you replied with something to the effect of like, really? Question mark. And I was like, that's an innocuous enough question. I was like, yeah, that's true. You then quote tweeted me with like, took me 3 months. Like you just
seems bad.
You said seems bad too. Explain yourself, please. That felt unnecessary.
Okay. What do you want me to explain? How many followers do you have?
Less than you.
Okay.
Less.
You said you were famous. You said you were famous. Meaning that I am also famous.
I never said you wasn't.
Both accurate statements then.
Absolutely.
I reached that level of followers in 3 months. I was stating a fact.
But like, I'm not questioning the fact part. I'm questioning the need, perhaps, to cite it via quote.
Oh, because you tried to dunk on me in my DMs about the achievement.
Hang on a second. The DMs, right? Now, if you'd have just messaged me privately and said, I did this in 3 months, you piece of shit, I'd have been like, fair, I've been owned, right? But when you do it in front of our mass following on Twitter.com, damages the brand, Jaychele. That's what I'm saying. So, when your paycheck comes in, just check the numbers, okay? When it comes in, just check the numbers. It'll be accounted for.
I think the fans, the Grin gang, should revolt because I need to go to college.
Fair. We should just find Bob more, I think.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Until he does a TikTok.
Podcasters call. It's fine. It's better to do it on the air than off, right? Anyway, do we have anything else for AEW in terms of Athena, Jaychele?
I don't really think so. I think that's all I got. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. Kind of really trying to sit down and figure out the best fit. I want her there. I'm not necessarily sure it will happen. Someone sent me I believe it was a clip from one of the post shows that Sean did where he kind of alluded to the idea he's not certain, or as certain as he was anyway. So
I think I listened to the Q&A show like this morning, and it seemed like it was otherwise. Like it seemed like Miriam was a no and Athena was a probably.
Well, there you go. I've been fucking owned again here on the program.
Sorry. It just seems like it changes every day. That's the news.
I do not envy Sean having to stay on top of that stuff,
Yeah, that's
because at the end of the day, the only people that know is the talent and Tony, right?
Yeah.
So it's all, it's all just back and forth and such. There you go. Thank you for owning me again here on the Late Night Grin. Let's move forward.
You got one more coming later.
I do? Good
you know you do.
Oh, that. Yeah, okay. I thought that was that went without saying at this point. Now, this is a good idea. I like this. Maybe Athena could be Rosa's first challenger for Rosa after the match of that. That could be interesting. Like Rosa wins, and the Wednesday after Athena comes out, and they do the kind of face-off deal. I think your hesitation would be Athena would be losing.
Exactly.
And then,
yeah, that's why I made that face.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love to see the match again. I have nothing against the match. It's just the situation right now for me.
In fairness, I mean, I think we saw with Ruby kind of why that can be an issue with how they use the women, right? Like, she got that title program, then it's like, well, then what? You know, and it kind of TBS thing was a nice follow up, I guess, but
The real follow up, if Jade was not in this picture, would have been for Ruby to win the TBS title.
agreed.
That would have been an actual conclusion to that
Yeah.
story arc. I would have felt like, okay, Ruby's back.
Yeah,
She
and
took
it
a
is.
loss in a big stage. Okay.
I think you and I talked about this a little bit actually when we was watching the show. That
Yeah.
you know, there's probably some AEW influence on the finish of that match at Warrior Wrestling anyway. Even if she's not coming in, like, you know, that's AEW does business a certain way, and there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yep.
I will say though that on her Twitch stream, Athena kind of alluded to the idea that it was more a program for Warrior Wrestling where they're going to actually go back to that match for them. Now, whether I believe that or not, I don't know, because it just seems like an awful extra thing. But she did make it clear that she was like, we want to try and, you know, do a program within this promotion. So we will see. I think we all agree we'd like to see the match again, but time will tell. Now, before we move on to our next one, Road Prime has sent in a super grin. And he says,
we should smile every time somebody sends one in.
Do you know what's weird? So when I pull them up here, I can no longer see this what the show that we're on. Like, I'm reading the thing.
I understand that.
And it makes it it gives me great anxiety, I have to be honest. It alarms me greatly. Like right now, I have no idea what's going on. You could be doing anything on the screen. I do not know. No clue.
I am not, but I
Okay.
should.
Yes, you can. I'm going to read the question here now, okay? Thank you for the donation. He says, how is AEW going to book these women? Does he need a woman booker? Jaychele asked Joe where the late night Grin Twitter account is. #weak Twitter game. My God, just dunked on me. This is going great. Would you like to ask me that, or can I just answer it?
What's wrong? And why don't we have the?
He said, "Where's the official Twitter account?" Now I can answer this.
Where is the official? Yeah, whatever. Cool.
I can answer this, folks, because I said, and I believe I even said it to the gentleman in question. 500 subscribers will make the account. We aren't there yet. We're a lot closer than I thought we'd be here at 496. It's been a hell of a week, but we're not there yet. So when we get there, it'll be made, okay?
So probably like today, if I just start yelling at people in DMs.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not telling you should do that, but please do that. So let's answer the other questions here. Do you think it would be a good idea for Tony Khan to have a female voice in the creative process? Do you think that would be a big help?
I've pitched who it should be as well before.
Maria?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree on that, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
She did a really great job. And I don't think, because we're the only two people in the world that watch that stuff, I think people don't realize how good a job she did with that division, because the Ring of Honor women's division, the first go around with the belt weren't too good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting answer for sure. I also agree with this. What do you think about this? The idea that in a lot of ways, the producers are the real key, and that's where maybe Serena and you mentioned Athena.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that matters, having the women that can produce these matches, maybe?
I think it's very important as well. I think remember when Swole kind of said that she was like the leader of the locker room, or she was able to kind of communicate. I don't know if they still have that person, but if they don't, they should have one of those as well.
Right.
I also don't know the backstage logistics,
Right.
but if they don't have translators and are just relying on talent to translate, I think that they should have translators as well, like Sheeta proposed.
Yeah, there are definitely some interesting signs that maybe there could be an improvement in terms of structure over there, isn't there? I think it's fair to say that at this point. Anyway, is Impact your second destination for Athena, or have you got something? Okay,
Yeah,
same here. Now, I think there's an elephant in the room here, and there's a gentleman in the chat that actively dunked on me on Twitter last night when I was having a great time. Deonna Purrazzo has an open challenge in tomorrow, right? Tomorrow night's No Surrender event, and it could be Athena. It could be.
Very well could be.
And that would be hilarious for this show, and thank God we got it in. If so, I'm intrigued. Do you think there's a chance that actually happens here?
I think there's actually a chance, because Sean said that there's going to be surprises at the tapings, surprises or debuts at the tapings, which makes me like, okay, y'all are already saying Tasha, and we got to chill, because I'm about to get there in a little bit. Trust me, I'm Tasha trained. We going to get there.
We'll get there now. Do we think, because this is the name that came to mind for me, I do think it could be Ty Valkyrie.
I think it's one of the two. Yeah, I think there's definitely an
That's
option.
interesting. I think
You're
Nixon
solid on Taya?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Is she free from her no compete?
Yeah.
This is going to sound the most insulting thing I've ever said, and I promise I don't mean it that way. But Nixon does feel like an Impact signing. I know that sounds, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even mean that to be.
It's fitting. The brand and the type of wrestler she is and the type of female talent she is makes sense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So I thought I'd have to mention that. And I was intrigued, okay. Is Deonna Purrazzo versus Athena the best American women's wrestling match you can book outside of the top two promotions? Like, it kind of feels like it is.
If it's a one-on-one match, yes. No other fugazi bullshit.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so that one goes without saying. Well, then, what other Impact scenarios do you have, Jaychele? Go ahead.
Okay, I have Tasha, obviously. Tasha trained, choo choo. Tasha's winning the belt tomorrow, so it looks like it would be a championship match. I don't want to talk about if she loses. That's not an option for me. So when Tasha wins the belt, Athena's going to come and challenge her. It'll be a great match. They'll both look like stars. I also have Deonna here as well. I think a Lady Frost partnership or match, either one, is very interesting.
Yes.
I love Lady Frost and what she's doing, and I feel like they'd be great together. Inside the ring or like as partners.
So the Tasha Steelz one is interesting because she has backup right now. She has Savannah Evans, right? And as far Mickey's with kind of with Chelsea on TV, they've got their friendship on TV, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's a real friendship too. Sorry, folks, didn't mean to. I see. It seemed like I was alleging fake friendship there. Do you remember when Cody Rhodes in his last promo called Ricky Starks his real life friend?
We can't mention one of that person's name, and the other person's name does not need to be in this conversation.
Fair. Okay, I'm going to move forward here and pretend I never did that. So what I was saying was, perhaps in some way you could do Athena and Mickey against Tasha and Savannah, and that's interesting. I'm going to say it, and hands up, I want Tasha Steelz to win too. I'm not lashing out here. But you could also do the deal where she's the next challenger for Mickey, right? Athena. You could do that too. I have to cover all.
I know. Yeah, you could. You shouldn't.
You could do that.
But you could. Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting show.
Do you know how much more legendary it will be if Tasha wins and my interview was one of the last interviews she did before she won the title?
That would be very, 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 very legendary. Yes, that would be for JJ and the other two Impact fans in their audience. They would take the.
Okay, I actually got pretty decent views for posting it on my own YouTube channel and never posted a video before.
I like Tasha Steelz, right? I like Tasha Steelz, but
who's better, Tasha Steelz or Kiera Hogan?
Oh, Tasha's better. She is better. I was pretty consistent when they were a team too. I think Kiera's got a certain star presence, but I think as a performer, Tasha's better. They were a great team. I will say. And this is actually I'm challenging you here, okay? If in 10 years, one of your leading achievements is that you interviewed Tasha Steelz before she won the Knockouts title, I'll be very disappointed by your progression in this game. And I mean that with love to Tasha Steelz, but it's like when you told me that one of your goals was doing a show with Bob. I was like,
I think that the announcement I'm making today may surpass that achievement even. So I think I'm doing pretty good.
There you go, folks. Lots of announcements on this show, especially if that guest shows up here. That would be something, wouldn't it? We get a couple different. Anyway, other Impact stuff.
Best promoter of the year, Joe Holbert.
There you go. I didn't win an Observer Award. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't. But did you see Jack Cartwheel came in number 2 for Rookie of the Year?
You did?
Yeah, right under Jade. I was so excited. I'm so proud of Jack. Nick Wayne was number 4, I think, or 5. So GCW boys represent.
How many times do you think Dave Meltzer has watched Jack Cartwheel wrestle?
Maybe 1, if that.
He did PWG, right? So he must have seen him at PWG. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure it's fine. Let's just move on from the Observer Awards. Bless the Observer.
Wait, there's Observer Awards?
That's the thing. We had a plan once. We were going to do a bit we called the Bob Observer, and it was going to be like a tweet. And we just never did it, which is
you'll get used to that. I would have been an award here, though. I've never won a wrestling award, and I want one.
Me
So
either.
I need some favoritism.
Actually, I did win. I won the Golden Grinny for Best Non-American.
Oh,
I beat
Buddy
out
Matthews
Andrade.
didn't beat you for that?
No, I beat out Andrade for that too.
Oh,
I have it on my wall somewhere.
not even
No,
like Cesaro?
he wasn't even nominated. Fucking loser. Anyway,
He would beat you up
oh,
badly.
he would kick the shit out of me. Couple other matches in Impact. Jordan Grace is an
Yep.
obvious one. I know you're a
Yep.
big fan of Jordan. Masha Slamovich is another one. And of course, the kind of the other deal with Impact that's interesting is the intergender matches. And
Yes.
Athena she's talked about wanting to do those recently. So
Yeah.
does that cover just about everything with Impact? I actually think Impact is a very likely destination for
I think it's up there for her. Yeah. Somebody's trying to give me an award in the chat. I think that it should be Athena taking on like Chris Bay or Trey Miguel. I don't know if they've done this before. I'm not up on my TNA Impact history, but has a woman ever won the X Division Championship?
JJ, please answer that question.
Yeah, can somebody answer that for me? Oh, I'm winning awards. Thank you guys.
Best female Grin host. That is not a win. That's just that's ridiculous.
Oh, somebody else gave me a win.
Oh, incredible.
Jordan did. Jordan did. Okay, then let her win it as well.
There you go. That should be all. She could have some awesome matches with the X Division guys. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
Impact, all bits aside, I actually think it would be a good fit for Athena if AEW is not a thing. I think this division is really good, but honestly, in terms of in ring, Athena would be a level up for a lot of this division, and I think that's something that people joke about. I think we both agree the Impact Women's division is good. People probably overstate the match quality sometimes, right? I think Athena would help on that front. So
I wish she would have been able to come earlier. If she would have been in the X division, well, not the X division, the Ultimate X match. I always mix those two up. I would have been so excited for that. She would have been perfect there. I hope she gets to do one of those at least.
Yes, that would be very good. Okay.
Thank you for giving me my flowers in the chat. I appreciate it.
Yeah, they never do that for me.
Maybe because I don't like you, Joe.
Well, it's a tough platform if you don't like me. Unfortunately, I can do many things, but in that case, there'll be more shows coming forward without me on though. So maybe that will help, right? Maybe that will get us that 500 subscribers. Anyway, Jaychele, what do you have up next here for the for Athena's potential destinations?
I have NWA.
Okay. Why at this point in the process did you decide you hate Athena? When did that happen?
I never said I hated her. I just thought that I liked some of the matchups there.
Okay.
I had Tootie Lynn, Kylie Ray, Allison Kay, Marty Bell. I think there would be an interesting match there for Camille. They always love to do the big little matches. And then I think she would probably want a match with Melina eventually. So it's under miscellaneous. I feel like I should show you because I don't think it should just go miscellaneous.
Oh, that's incredible. The idea of you could be doing actual necessary work and writing stuff down that's important. Instead, you're writing down names she's going to wrestle Tootie Lynn at NWA Hard
No, we like Tootie Lynn over
She's
here.
Great. She's great. So is Allison Kay. It's just funny. I actually have both of those two names in a different section, which I'm going to get to now.
Okay.
Everyone knows where I get to about the 45-minute mark, don't they? It's Ring of Honor. It's Ring of Honor.
I had them too.
Athena was in Ring of Honor about 10 years ago now.
Thank you guys for my handwriting compliment.
Good Lord. This is terrible.
I like this show. I like getting compliments. I'm a Leo. Do you know what that means?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't know zodiac signs?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were doing something else in the wrestling sense of that. And I was just going to play dumb. Sorry. No, ignore everything I just said. Never mind. Ring of Honor. I believe her run there was either 2012 or 2013. She had a handful of matches in Ring of Honor. I
think it was 2012, I believe.
There you go.
Do not quote me.
The idea of her going back and being the ace of that division while she's a free agent would be really fun.
Yeah.
It would start, as Riley mentioned perfectly in his Super Grin, it would start with a match with the Honor at Supercard, which is
likely.
Imagine Supercard of Honor look like this. Gresham, Bandito, Briscoes, FTR, The Honor, Athena.
Do you really think we're getting that FTR match?
I believe.
Okay.
Buddy Matthews signed for AEW. Anything can happen.
Dude, are you gonna keep believing until Samoa Joe gets there? Because I think that's how you're gonna get it. I think you're gonna manifest it for yourself.
I don't know. I actually had a good think about this. Maybe I should just like. I think there's evidence I should just retire on the Buddy one and just say that's it, no more. Like it's been fun, guys, and I passed the channel over to you and Shoot and whoever. Like, but it feels like I'm never going to top that one, right?
No.
Like they actually, like after all these months, I'd even given up. He's losing to TJP on Fusion in like 2 weeks, and he's going to be on AEW.
What is Fusion?
MLW Fusion.
Oh, I don't do that to myself.
Yeah. No comment on the fact that I do. Seriously,
you fight for it though, so like I give you props for that. I read it.
No, it's very good. There's about you and 6 others. I appreciate it.
Oh God, why are you mean to yourself?
You know how it is with written work.
But why are you being mean to yourself, Joe?
I like to me, that project works as like something to force myself to watch.
Would you like an air hug?
No, I wouldn't. I don't feel this is the time. We have serious business to talk about regarding Athena. This, by the way, can I just talk about this quickly while I'm really lashing out here? Nikki and Alexa both having the worst gimmicks in wrestling is one of the most incredible WWE things I can ever remember. Actively hurt me when I saw that tweet from our pal over at Wrestle Purists. And I was just like, this is horse shit.
Did you see the cool move she did where she like flipped over somebody's back and she landed like this and she came back and she did a drop kick?
Who?
Alexa!
When?
She was training and she recorded it. I thought it was Liv Morgan. I'll send it to you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Anyway.
It was the most amazing thing I've seen in a long time.
Good. I'm glad it wasn't anything negative. Okay, now I'm going to go back here. Let me go back. Now, the Ring of Honor thing, I had those names you mentioned. The Ring of Honor Women's Division is obviously up in the air because we don't know who they're bringing back. Alison Kay is someone that worked Final Battle that I'd like to see back. Miranda Alizé is one. Willow is one. So on and so forth. You can add other free agents. The core point being, it would be funny to have her as the ace of the division. Now, financially, I'm sure that isn't the most lucrative option, but like, it's a fun idea, right?
I wonder if anybody went in the chat and left her name there when they were doing that live stream on Facebook.
That made me mad. That made me really, really mad. Jeremy Lambert told me, he said, this reimagination is just going to be, the booker is going to be the Facebook group. And I was like, oh, I was so mad. And then
I was in the Facebook group.
You messaged me. He was like, "They're doing it," and it's Jeff Jarrett. Why, Jeff? Why? Who wants him in the ring?
I wish you saw me in the chat. I was copy and pasting Darius Lockhart's name until one of them noticed it, and Ian Riccaboni said, "I'm seeing a lot of love for Darius Lockhart." So Darius, if you get booked,
oh my god,
make me your manager.
Okay, so the names you said to me were Amazing Red coming back, right?
Yeah.
Blake Christian and Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Great bookers over there in the Ring of Honor Facebook. Great stuff.
They said FTR too, though. So, I mean.
I love the idea of like Ian Riccaboni seeing FTR and being like, oh, yeah, I never thought of that. FTR, best tag team in the world. Huh?
He was like writing them down in a note. He was like, Booker, write this down in that notebook. I was like, put an underline under FTR and Jeff Jarrett. I was like, oh.
Oh, God, it froze me. I was so mad. I'm sorry. You said he was telling the Booker to write them down like it was.
Yeah, write them down in a notebook and put an underline under Jeff Jarrett and FTR.
So when they announced Jeff Jarrett, I can't even moan because the fans asked for it. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. Okay, great. Okay, what other destinations we have for Athena here? So I noted Ring of Honor. Do you have anything to add on that one, or would you like to list off some other places, some other promotions? What do you think?
I just had Trish. I don't know if we mentioned Trish as well. There's a nice comment that has some of who the division should be as well from Riley.
Trish, that would be a great match. When Trish and Athena, that would be just about perfect. We have a guest here that will be coming on shortly. But first, let's conclude our business regarding Athena.
Getting excited.
The idea of her going to Japan is interesting, right? I mean, are you very educated on the Joshi scene? I'm not personally.
I'm not, but I should be. So I will work.
We should try and work on that, right? Both of us. Because I actually would like to watch it, more of it. And hopefully, if she was someone that went there, I'd be more likely to.
Yeah.
With Kyrie being back today, especially, it was like, I had to note that down. Okay. That covers just about all of my notes. Is that all about yours?
I just had some possible question marks around GCW matches and if she would do them.
Right.
Because she said she wants to do some intergender stuff. So I'm thinking maybe she faces a Blake Christian or an Alex Zane in GCW and they just have like killer matches. She could team with Allie Ketch if she wanted to, and they could have a tag team thing.
I definitely think she would like to do that stuff. So that's a good call. I like the running bit. We're at the 50-minute mark. You say GCW after I say Ring of Honor at 45. I like that. Something we're going to go to every week. Now, before we have a lot of announcements here. Before I bring on our great guest, don't do the big announcement. We'll do that last, okay? But instead, who are we doing next week, Jaychele? Remember that was your task. I hope you have a name.
Yeah, I changed my name. So I hope that we don't see this person tomorrow, which I don't think we will.
Okay.
But we're gonna do Cody Rhodes.
Oh my God. Code man, that he is 100% going to show up on Raw, and then we're going to be like, oh, we'll change it to,
If Cody Rhodes shows up on Raw or SmackDown, we will change to Josh Woods.
There's a big difference in viewership that's going to do for us, you know that.
Yeah, right? But like fair.
That's fine.
Or do you want another name? If you want an actual other name, I'll think of one for realsies.
No, look, we're going to have a short window on Cody, so we may as well just do it, right?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. If we can get Cody, we're going to do Cody.
Yes,
and we should see if we can get somebody to sing the song, the Adrenaline in My Soul song. Maybe we can convince somebody to do it and we'll put it in the intro. Can you make that happen, you think?
I have a man who's very good at doing many voices.
Oh.
Here he is.
Yay! Let's go!
I do not expect him to sing Cody's song anytime soon, but Oracle, I've been told there have been great planning going on here in the world of the late night Grin. Explain.
So I've been hearing the rumors, hearing the calls.
Yes.
I've been listening. There's been some discussion the last few weeks of some deep dives and some projects to further along this train that could derail at any moment. Won't be Jaychele's fault, probably mine. So on July 20th, 2008, I was at Hooters, prepared to watch the Great American Bash just a few weeks before my sophomore year of high school began. And we ordered our food and everything, and the damn show didn't start. Their pay-per-view thing was all messed up and everything, and it was all really disappointing, and we just got mad and we just left. That was the last time we ever tried to go watch a wrestling show at Hooters. We'd actually done it for about a year. But what took place on this show was the inaugural crowning of the first ever World Wrestling Entertainment Divas champion. And Jaychele and I will be, we haven't worked out all the kinks yet. We haven't worked out all the things we need to do to figure out how we're going to do it. But we are going to explore and do a Divas deep dive from July 20th, 2008, on that fateful day where I had to enjoy average Hooters wings and not get to see Chris Jericho bloody Shawn Michaels' eye. And we are going to go all the way up to WrestleMania 30, the night before Paige debuts on the main roster. We don't know how exactly we're going to do this, but I figured I would jump in and do the run-in and have this major announcement. And I'm gonna throw it over to Jaychele, and she can add anything she wants to add.
But before you do that, Jaychele, this is very important because I have to apologize to Oracle. I missed his DM. There was a very key production note. So let me just do this now out of respect for the business. No, we got to do it. It's only right. Yes. You're correct. A major programming alert. Jaychele, please go. Please go.
When you put that on, my face went back like you shocked me. I'm very excited to do this show. I am a diva through and through. I have the Divas Championship. I got this when AJ Lee was champion. This is the long old belt. I'm very excited to do the show. I added Oracle on Twitter I was like, I want to do a show, and I requested that of Joe.
Yeah.
And Joe tried to say I was going to do WCW, which immediately was shot down. So, in conclusion, we decided to do the Divas division because I love the Divas division. I want to ask if we will also be covering the NXT game show Diva stuff that happened as well.
Oh my God.
We may need to cover some of that.
Okay.
Just for reactionary purposes.
You may cover it for different reasons, but it'll be something to see, I think. I do want to say that if there was a great way to encapsulate my kind of time here at Late Night Grin, it's I requested something and I was suggested WCW, which has been a running trend, but it is what it is. You get what you get, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Now, in all seriousness, and I have to say this because it popped me so much, is Jaychele mentioned this to me the day after I said, get some ideas and we'll talk about them. You said this idea, right? You said a Divas division with Oracle, and I was like, God, that's incredible. And I think I told you, Oracle, right? And I said to you that.
Yeah.
And I think this could be the best thing that we produce. And I hope sincerely, because I know that how Oracle is going to approach this, he will not he's going to watch this and go into it with full sincerity. So I hope there's an audience that enjoys this that doesn't see a lot of our stuff, because it's something that before you arrived on this platform, we definitely wouldn't have done, but I think could be honestly awesome. Right? It's going to be a blast. So
I'm super excited. Both of my shows that I do currently are named after the Divas division. I am a self-proclaimed diva. I've done the Nikki Bella entrance. I've done the AJ Lee entrance with the Divas Championship. So I feel like this is my home. The Divas division is my home.
There you go. See, this is to Jaychele what 1994 WCW is to you and I, Oracle.
Sure. You see, I used to do like the Taz entrance, when I was a kid. And came out to like Taz's WWF music and like put a towel on my head and stuff, and I'd do the Triple H entrance, spit the water out, all that
That's
stuff.
A classic.
Chris Jericho entrance.
I recently watched the video where Kevin Owens is talking about when he was 17 and he threw the mug into his mouth.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, that was
hilarious. His delivery on that is masterful, isn't it?
That was great.
Yes.
Great stuff. Now, and this is not me upstaging what we just did, because that was very special, and I cannot wait for that show. However, Jaychele, you did say a week ago you had a big announcement, right?
Yes.
I am lucky enough to know what this is. Floor is yours.
Oracle does not know what this is, so this will be a very interesting situation.
Should I hit the breaking news thing again, just for the sake of excitement?
Go for it.
Okay.
So, as you guys know, I have my project titled Wrestling with Whiteness, and when I first announced the project, I was just like, I'm just going to do a few indie wrestlers here and there, some ROH guys, and we'll piece this thing together. After I announced it, there was an overwhelming amount of support, which I'm so grateful for, which kind of led me to getting the Tasha Steelz interview, which was my first ever Impact interview. And then something I never expected to happen kind of happened. So I'm happy to announce this Wednesday, my Ricky Starks interview will be out. And I need to say this, Joe. I have an AEW Ricky Starks interview. I messaged Joe the news. I had kind of talked about the Ricky Starks name before when I was announcing it. Well, it was in the works or whatever. And Joe was like, oh, he's nice. I did an interview with him. And I was like, oh, okay. Told Joe it was official. He called me a rookie. So I had to dunk because he was in the NWA. And I can now take this sticky note off of my board.
Good Lord, that's incredible. Now, seriously, we all love Ricky Starks, right, Oracle?
Oh, yeah, Ricky Starks is awesome.
He's the man. That's going to be great. Please support that whole project over at Jaychele's channel. In fact, I'm going to try and... Can we link that here? Let me do that. Before we wrap up here, I'm going to get that in the chat. Yes, please support that. That's going to be great. And it's not the only name on the way, right? There's going to be some big ones here coming up. It's very, very exciting.
I cannot announce that other one because I don't like to announce interviews until they happen because, things always happen.
Oh, yeah.
So after that happens, actually on the same day that the interview should come out, I should have another big interview happening as well which is also on my board. If you've ever gone on my Twitter and seen, I have one explicit name for an interview on my board. I'm going to tease it. If you've ever seen the up close of my board, their name is there. So right behind my head, actually. Yeah,
Okay.
right behind my head.
Triple H. Okay. Congratulations.
For wrestling with whiteness.
Hey, he took a photos of a lot of people, you know. He'd be an interesting guest at this point.
Good Lord.
Could you imagine if you actually
are we 3-0? Did I just do a
I think I got
thing?
one in there, didn't I?
You said Swerve and Jay White, but I originally was the one who said to Strong. So I mean, you can take it if you want, but it feels
at the end of the day,
pity.
Buddy Matthews signed for AEW, so I mean, you could go 3-0, 4-0. I fucking won in the end, didn't I?
Oh God,
he knows I won.
Oh,
Look at his.
God.
Now, okay, seriously though, support that project. It's great. Natasha Steele's interviews up now. You can go and watch that. I put the channel in the chat.
Thank you, Joe.
Promotions. Jaychele, you go first, as well as what you just announced. Tell the people what stuff you're doing. You got podcasts coming up this weekend on 2 different channels. Go ahead.
Yes. So obviously the Ricky Starks interview will be out Wednesday. I believe that will be out Wednesday at noon. I'm not in school, so I can do cool stuff this week. So if you want to check that interview out, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Jaychele Nicole. It's normally on the screen, but Joe doesn't know how to turn off that thing on StreamYard, so I have to take my ad off the screen. But it's at Jaychele Nicole on Twitter.
That felt unnecessary. If you'd already won, you didn't need to kind of, put the boots to me a little bit more.
Winners are winners and losers are losers. There's also the link to my channel in the comments. If you guys want to go check out my channel, please go subscribe. Check out the Tasha interview over there as well. I also do ADHD Divas on the Fightful Overbook channel. We have a live episode tomorrow at 11. We normally are on at 3, but we have to go before the Saudi show, which is something. So check us out over there. We'll be live at 11. We've done some recorded episodes for these past 2 weeks, so check us out for another live episode. And then we'll also have a show for you on Sunday. I don't believe it will be the full ADHD Divas show, but we have a special trivia edition episode over there for you guys this week.
I remember when the Distraction went head-to-head with one of those Saudi shows, and I did a tweet of like, we're going head-to-head, and we just didn't go head-to-head. So Fightful had to do a review, so we just went on about 2 hours later. I was fucking owned that day. Oracle, we're going to be back here in a couple of hours, aren't we? We got some grinning to do, my friend. Go ahead.
Shortly, once this show ends, I will be preparing my lasagna, which I may be enjoying during the opening hour of the Late Night Grin, very possibly, to Minnie's celebration. They all enjoy when I eat my food and chew and eat live on air.
Have you ever thought of doing like a mukbang show?
Absolutely not. Do not encourage that. It's Oracle's gimmick. We allow Oracle that gimmick, but if we all did it, it would be one of the worst things
Not
ever.
You weren't included. It was for Oracle.
Well, like just a solo, isn't the whole point that it's like a group effort?
No, it's for Oracle.
That's right.
You would get a whole different audience. Maybe you'd reach 500 subscribers then if you gave him a mukbang show.
I'd rather we just not.
Jaychele and I will discuss further how we're going to sort it out. We'll have to figure out the time and stuff. And it's our Divas deep dive is we haven't figured out the name for it yet. And
can it be that because I like alliterations?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Dive. Can you make us a cool logo, Joe?
Shoot will do. He will do that without me even asking.
He's the expert on that front.
And by the way, Oracle, you can confirm the opening tonight, folks.
It's fire.
Get there on time. It's worth getting there early for that. So we'll sort out the times. Jaychele and I we'll try to figure out when we can do it. My work schedule is kind of weird, so but
I stay home from school, so we can make it work.
Okay. There you go. We
Why
will make
are you laughing,
work.
Joe?
It will happen. It will happen. 8:00 Eastern time. Less than 2 hours from now, we will be back. Joe will probably not get a nap in before then.
Nope.
This was fun. I'm very excited, Jaychele.
We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yes, it's going to be very funny. People are going to love and hate me for my takes. Possibly even
I used to
Jaychele.
be a Diva stan. Hold on. I used to be a Sasha stan. Yeah. So like 50% of my Twitter followers are Diva stans.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting show. They're going to meet Oracle and it will be It'll be something, man. It'll be something.
I will have
it'll
my
be a
social
ride.
security number thrown
Yes.
out onto the.
Yes.
No, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yes.
Okay. I did want to quickly note the reason I laugh whenever you mention that, Jaychele, is that you are clearly the most professional member of our team. You just announced an interview of Ricky Starks, and it always feels like an incredible own when you're like, "Yeah, I'll be home from school in time." It's like, "Oh fuck, okay, owned." Oracle mentioned the Late Night Grin, latenightgrin.com. Sign up for just $1. That's the earliest the Grin will ever be on. Primetime Grin. All right, and we're going head to head with SmackDown. And I might get ruthless, man. If that viewership isn't where I want it to be, I may have to leak a spoiler or two as to what's happening over on Fox. Check out the historical Oracle from last night. We had a great time with that Oracle, November '95.
There's some questions I need answered before we end this stream, Joe. There's some questions in the chat that I need answered before we end this stream.
Okay, this is a good
teaser.
This is a good teaser. Okay, so we have Oracle, your favorite diva, and your least favorite diva.
Well, we need to make sure it's in that era, right? From the summer of 2008 to 2014. So I was really a big fan of Layla during that period.
Okay.
Got to remember I was 15 years old. But let's see. My least favorite. I also did like Gail Kim when she came back and she had good matches on Superstars. She had very good matches in Superstars, but they didn't use her, and then she just left in a battle royal. Well, we'll get to talk about that. But my least favorite. Ooh,
this could be controversial, I fear.
Yeah.
At the time, it's tough. I never liked Natty. I've never liked Natty.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay.
I didn't like Oksana.
Okay, we're doing good here. We're on the same page right now.
I think that's a good place to. You probably quit while
we
you're ahead.
Stop there.
Yeah, quit while you're ahead.
It's fine. It's fine because I liked Beth. I liked Kelly.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, that's good. We'll stop there. We'll get into the bad stuff and we'll put that on the show.
Yeah, we'll run through the whole list eventually one day. So
yes.
Yeah, that was a good way to start without immediately writing people off. Good job. I appreciate that effort there, Oracle.
I would give you a sticker if I had any.
There you go. Now, folks, lots going on here at the Grin. This has been a huge week for us. We had the big Cody video that went crazy. Jack Crosby won't pay a penny, but we love him for that. I mean, that's a little bit strong, but yeah, it was pretty popular on YouTube, I guess. Thanks for all the support. We have many victory laps ahead. And next week, there may even be a 12-hour stream. The Bud Nat victory lap of all victory laps.
Joe.
So, I love this business, Jaychele. You know that.
Oh, God.
I love this business. Folks, latenightgrin.com. We will see you there in under 2 hours.
Pay your reparations.
There you go. Many grins ahead. Goodbye, everyone.